Back on your feet. This means to return to good health after an injury or illness. Take a look at this spoken example. Don't worry. Get some rest and you'll be back on your feet in no time. Here's a written example. It's much harder for the elderly to get back on their feet after the flu. In other words, it's much harder for the elderly to return to good health after the flu. Barking up the wrong tree. This means to have the wrong idea about something, or to try and do something that won't be successful. Here's a spoken example. Oh wow, maybe you could listen to my band's new song. Sorry, you're barking up the wrong tree. I do work in the music industry, but I'm the accountant. Here's a written example. So once again, barking up the wrong tree means to have the wrong idea about something. So the suspect told police they were barking up the wrong tree. He told police they had the wrong idea about something. Beat around the bush. Beat around the bush means to avoid talking about the main point of an issue. For example, when someone spends a long time talking about small things that aren't very important without actually talking about what it is you need to talk about. Here's a spoken example. Don't beat around the bush. What do you have to tell me? Don't avoid talking about the main point. Just tell me. Here's a written example. During the campaign, she promised not to beat around the bush and address tough issues that previous leaders chose to avoid. Bed of roses. Bed of roses means easy and comfortable. Here's a spoken example. I don't want to go. Well, you have to. Life's no bed of roses. I remember having conversations like this when I was a child. And my mother would often say something like this to me. Perhaps this is a child saying they don't want to go somewhere. And a parent is replying by saying, well, you have to. Life's no bed of roses. Or life's not easy and comfortable. Here's a written example. The film is based on her own childhood, which was no bed of roses, and is shown through a child's perspective. Perspective just means point of view. B1. Rearrange the words to make 4 English idioms. You've got about 2 minutes. B2. Fill the gaps to make 4 English idioms. You've got just 1 minute. B3. Match the idiom to its meaning. You have 3 minutes. B4. Complete each paragraph with the correct idiom. You have 3 minutes. Here are the answers. A. Back on your feet. B. Barking up the wrong tree. C. Beat around the bush. And D. Bed of roses. B2. A. Back. Back on your feet. B. Barking. Barking up the wrong tree. C. Bush. Beat around the bush. D. Bed. Bed of roses. B3. A. Back on your feet means to recover from illness or injury. Number 2. B. Barking up the wrong tree means to have the wrong idea about something. Number 3. C. Beat around the bush is number 1, to avoid the point of an issue, which leaves D. Bed of roses, meaning easy and comfortable. Number 4. B4. Life isn't a bed of roses. You have to take the bad and the good. 4. B. Get some rest and you'll be back on your feet soon. Number 1. 1. C. They thought I was going to spend a lot of money, but they were barking up the wrong tree. Number 2. D. Don't beat around the bush. Just tell me. Number 3.